Hello, YouTube modeling community. This is Rusty Rotor with a What's on the Bench update on Sicillia, the villain. The truck is right where I want it to be. I'll just start off there. We got most of all the little detailed stuff painted. The engine started. You guys have already seen all that up there. The only thing I finished was the air ride, drilling all the little holes, getting it painted, getting it varnished, so on and so forth. I was going to get in the paint booth this week and get it primed. And I was like, I want to get, because the truck is pretty simple. I mean, you use a drop frame, it sets it, tires and wheels, boom. We're just using a regular 350 V8. I will have to make the motor mounts, but really at the end of the day, that's nothing. We do want a clean paint job, and we got to do a lot of wiring for the truck. But it was the paying homage to Italy, because I know the guy. I don't know the guy, but I know the guy that owns the truck is Italian. Apparently, I mean, you don't call your truck Sicillia the villain for nothing. And I mean, he has a lot of pictures on his page. It looks like maybe he's gone back to Italy, or he's got family back there, whatever it may be. So we're focused on the diorama. I'm trying to get the main part of it done, because it's going to be at least a month or so before I get all the landscaping stuff in and we really start to put the finishing touches on the diorama. But I'll start off showing you, and we can declamp it as we talk. This is 2 pieces of the craft foam. It's got the paper on both sides. We only peeled one side. This is going to go on top of the pink foam, whatever it's called, SPF foam, I don't know. It's insulation foam. I realized, well, that's just not thick enough, and it is a little warped. So we're going to add this layer, and then it's going to get glued down and weighted down to a piece of plywood. Just 1/2 inch OSB. We'll have to go cut the width, or front to back, however you want to look at it, before we glue it down, and then we'll weight it down and let it sit overnight. But because you can tell this has got a little bit of warp in it too. But we want the buildings to sit on this. This gives 1/8 of an inch, almost 1/4 inch, the building to be, and the sidewalks to be higher than the road. So I can put my sculpt my curbs into this. This is all going to be pavers, which leads me to this. I should have wrote it down. I saw somebody make a tool that they use to make cobblestones, or the small little 4x4 pavers. So I just took a piece of aluminum can and bent it into about 1/4 inch, and I scaled this again. If you guys remember, because I don't know what scales. Well, I just know this is about 1/25th scale, between 1/24th and 1/25th. So I got a figure. He'll be in the diorama. But I looked at a shoe, and I went outside because I have a paver, and it was about half of my shoe, as far as front to back. So I made the little jig the same. So then I tested it out on a scrap piece of foam, and it was perfect. And we don't need it to be absolute perfect. We're not going for a clean, brand new installed look, kind of like I do on the bodies. We want a little off square, a little jagged and ragged, so to speak. So we'll use this tool, and we'll do all of our cobblestone. Once we cut out the street part and the angle of the sidewalks and everything, which we'll take a look at here in a minute. Once we cut that out, then this will be ready to glue down to the pink foam, and then we can kind of really get started on once I'm doing building by building. I guess I should have started with that. So it's 5 buildings, 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's actually, because each building or structure has 2 buildings, side by side. So there's 2 here, 2 here. That's 4, 5, 6. So there's a total of 6 residents. But 1, 2, 3, 4 structures. that makes any sense to you. I'm not going to get too technical. And I'm kind of winging this, even though I know, structural wise, I took architectural drawing, blueprinting, all that. And, we built scale houses. It was quarter scale. And, we had the year long to do it. We had to put the grass in, the driveway, the garage, the doors, the windows, decorate the inside. The roof had to be removable. Anything out in the backyard, And I did that for 4 years through high school because I absolutely loved it. And that's what really gave me the love for dioramas. And also having train sets and racetrack sets and building mountains and, all that stuff just kind of sucks you in. This is a big time suck, but it is really rewarding. And I'm going to show you one little section. It's about halfway done. But it's the point where I can just leave it alone because I got to do other stuff to it. So again, once we get this down, and then we can start making our cobblestones in here, and I've got grout to put down in there, and we'll do just like you see everybody else do to get it to stay down there. It's isopropyl alcohol and then watered down PVA glue, and that'll keep the grout down in there, and then we'll weather it. The piece that I got about a little more than halfway done. It's done. It's not weathered yet. Some of it is, but it's not done. This is an old Tuscan villa, that you would see in the countryside, that they, things are brought to them as far as supplies, fruits, vegetables, and that's where Sicillia the villain comes in. Her being a truck, the driver, he's delivers this stuff to the people that live way out in the countryside. Fresh produce, groceries, wine, beer, whatever it is that these people do. These are, I would classify, semi-wealthy people. They don't want to go into town, or the main town anyways, and they've got, they got the means to have it brought to them. So that's kind of the story we're going with, just make believe. That's the best thing about this hobby. When you do things like this, your imagination can just run wild and create and do what you want. Nothing specifically measured, angles, anything like that. I just kind of went with it. And where'd he go? My little figure here, yeah, he's the driver of the truck. He's unloading. We'll put something down in here. He's delivering whatever these people need, and we'll have a little bit of stuff in the back of the truck. But it kind of just dawned on me, because like I said before, I had to figure out a way to build a base. And yes, I could have just been simple, made it look like a road, hid my wires, and lit the truck up and been done with it. It's the easy way out. I don't do anything the easy way. And why? People ask me, why do you do it the hard way? You could have just done it this way. Doing it the hard way, I learned several things. One, I learned a lesson. What not to do next time. Number two, I learned how to do it. I don't know everything about Tuscany and Italy and how their buildings they're angled and the size of the windows and their doors. I know none of that. So there's some guessing and keeping things to scale and looking somewhat real. There's my scale right here. He's 1/24th, I believe. So a 1/24th figure. So if my doors are a little taller than the guy, a little wider than he is, they're pretty accurate. Windows, so if he's standing inside, he could be looking out the window. Banister rails, the right height. I'm really close. And him standing next to the truck is very accurate. So, for winging it, I think it's come along pretty good. So we've been working on building number one. And the stages I go to is I will rock everything. I will put all the door frames in and the doors. And we'll use, like I said, clear flat plastic like you get like if you bought a Star Wars figure, how it's got the bubble over it. You just cut those what you need, and you glue them in between two layers, and that makes your window. Now, our foam is 1.5 inches thick, or is it an inch? let's see. Yeah, we got 1-inch foam here. Now, if I would have used 2-inch foam, I probably wouldn't have had the warping. And after Christmas, I'm going to buy a sheet, not full sheet, but how they sell, I think it's 2x2 squares, something like that, at Lowe's. I'm going to buy a sheet of 2-inch because I've learned my lesson here. And I also learned that this cheap craft foam, the paper just doesn't peel off the back. You've got to wet it and work it off. It was a lot faster process than the drywall. And by the way, guys, we're sitting at the diorama table. I was doing it on bench 1, and that's where the truck will get built. But I was like, this is just making too much mess over here. So I cleaned up all my mess, moved primarily everything I need over here, and it gives me a lot more room to do things. And materials that I need for this are right here. So that's why I built it. But anyways, so be careful of what foam you buy. The other foam is really good. It peels right off. The paper comes right off. I'm going to look at Hobby Lobby and see if they have the black foam. I've heard a lot of people say it works really well for what they're doing. And there's also a couple variations of this foam you got to be mindful of. There's 1/8 inch thick and there's 1/4 inch thick. So right now we should be right at a 1/2 inch thick with this stuff. And no, we're not. So this is 1/8 of an inch, which peeled paper off. With the paper on there, it's 1/4 inch, but it's 1/8 inch just foam. So this has got to be about 1/16 inch foam. And you'll see I've used it in various places, and there's meaning behind it. I also followed, I can see everybody else do, make some different size styrofoam balls. I'm going to make another one that's got a little more crunchy edges, a little more detail. And these are good. I just put them in a little container, put them in the drawer. When I need them, I can get them out. Right now, if you guys know about static electricity, I've got a plastic bowl, and I got little styrofoam bricks I cut. This took a whole day. And it's probably not even enough. I'm going to probably need twice, if not more. But it was fun. It was just sitting there. I had some jazz and blues playing. I was just cutting away. Got to talk to old Tom. I had fun. And I guess that's what it's all about, right, guys? It's fun. You learn something. You push yourself outside your normal boundaries, outside the box, and you figure it out and you make it work. And while you're doing that, you make it look good. There's a lot of room for error in doing this kind of stuff. So that's another thing. That kind of brings me back where I make mistakes. Well, I can easily, then it's corrected. And nobody knows. I'm telling you, but, So, yeah, we got a zillion little bricks. But static electricity, these things pop out here like popcorn. The aluminum foil knocks that static electricity out. So I can sit there, I can wave my hand over, and you ain't got to worry about the foam flying up and sticking to my hand and all that mess. Guys, clothesline pins work great. Dollar store, I think it's like $1 and you get like 50 of them in a package. They don't work for everything, but they do work quite well. Clamping it this way, or you can put a file in there and file that down, make it a smaller hole, and you can put a toothpick in there vertical and set down the thing and hold the part up while after you're done painting it, letting it dry. Multiple uses. And I do have a little video on that, and I gotta go back through my things and edit it or send it to my editor for it to be edited. So it'll show you how you can buy a cheap pack of those and make them very versatile for what you need. So be looking for that coming down the road. So we got our base, and this is the side we will stipple with my tool. And I just used a big ink pen, and I can make smaller ones, I can make bigger ones. Next time around, I will not hand carve each individual stone or cut each brick. I've learned some different methods in the past week of this, but to me, this is rewarding. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding because I know each little piece of this I made. I didn't just roll it across the surface. I didn't take the easy way out. I did it the hard way. I hand carved every stone. I hand painted every stone. Well, so far, and you'll get to see that. I made everything for this. I used cheap materials, craft foam board, pink foam insulation, balsa wood, some basswood, and that's it. And craft paints. I've used a few Vallejo, but some craft paints. Guys, I mean, if I added all this up, I probably will have $30 in this diorama, if that. I've already got all the LEDs for inside the buildings to light them up. I did order, and we'll do a thing when I order that and it comes in from Temu. I got the cheap little train lights, and they're not all perfectly to scale. Some of them may be a little too big, but I'm going to take them apart and retrofit them to something that is more to scale. So we can work with it. We're not being precise, accurate, like the OEM purists. We're not doing that. So again, I'm working on building 1. This is building 5. It is a building all by itself. There's no door over here. I think there'll be a window right here when it's all said and done, and there'll be like a little planter box underneath the window with some flowers, hanging down just for looks. Thinking about an arched window because the balcony has an arched doorway, and there'll be a little balcony sticking off here, and we'll have some little braces underneath to support the patio that they'll sit there. It'll have guardrail. My good friend Ernest, when he's got some free time, I got to send him some measurements because I think I can make the handrails around stuff like this, and on the building 1 and the stairs. But the problem lies with the flower boxes underneath. Well, over here underneath the window. It's not drawn on here yet, and I could probably build this out of balsa wood too. So, kind of as I go, I'll see how I'll try some things out, see how it looks. And if I can't do it, then I'm going to maybe try to work with Ernest and see if he can 3D print some handrails, come out and go around this little balcony, and it'd be a little like wrought iron planter. I'll need several of those for some of these windows, that kind of stuff. Some furniture, like I'm going to need 3 tables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chairs, like outdoor style. I'm going to have a table and chairs down low. And up on this balcony here, there'll be tables and chairs on each balcony. It is an adjoining balcony. We're going to put a divider in between it. I don't know if I'm going to do brick or stone yet. We'll figure it out when we get there. Or if it's a wooden privacy thing. We haven't figured it out yet. Kind of playing this as we go. But this is building number 5. You can see it's a very narrow building. It would be bigger in real life, and it gets wider as it goes back. So, it's probably like a little 1-bedroom, efficiency. Bedrooms upstairs, bathroom, maybe a half bath upstairs or a full bath downstairs, and a little kitchen and a little living area. It's not very big, flat. It's very, very small. But it, at the end of the day, it really serves the purpose for the diorama. Because if you remember in the video before this, the next update video that'll be coming out is Shorty. I got a little bit of things done on it. We're to the point where we got to do some figuring for the suspension now. Not a big deal. That should be a fairly cut and dry build as well. We are waiting for a kit to come. Probably won't be till the end of December, first, second week of January that we get it, because I ordered 2. The new A&T 63 Ford F100. So it doesn't come out till the end of December. So, my order's being held up till then, which is cool. But I'm going to use the grill from the 67. And I still have to strip the chrome and modify the grill to look like Shorty's. No big deal. Simple thing. In one day, I can strip it, do what I need to do to it, get it back chrome, get the detail painted on it, and it's ready to go. So, it's not a big deal. But if you remember the video past, sorry about that, the angle we're looking down the road into this little villa, kind of like a cul-de-sac, in our country. It goes, the little road goes down and there's houses and it joins around. Well, we just don't have the roundness. This is kind of rectangle, and each kind of, as you go down the road, there's these little things tucked in the side of a mountainside where all these houses are. People live in these little villas, and they have like a courtyard out in the front, and they gather because they know each other. They've lived there for 3, 4, 5 generations of families live there, and it's just it's how my mind worked. So I got excited about it. I've not really added anything yet. Kind of sticking to my plan. I did have to make some changes, which is okay. Oh, this is how I do it, guys. I cut different size square, different thickness of blocks, and then I sit there and I hand carve it. Each block probably taking me about 2 or 3 minutes, and I can always change it when it's on. And then I roll the foam over it to add more texture to it, or the aluminum foil over the foam. And then I can, once I go through here and do that to all these, then I can start placing these where they need to go. Because the first building has got a front side here, which I need to shave some more. We really kind of wonky the side of the building, but it's going to get some stonework on it, so it's not a big deal. And then we got stone the other side of it. So this is the biggest building, so I want to do it and get it done out of the way. I figure, or I plan, that it'll probably take 2 to 3 days to stone it, prime it, get the door frames in, the windows in, come back and start painting the stones and all that. So probably about another week, and this building will be ready to be weathered. We got rust that's going to be running down, the moss growing on it, the grit and the grime from the road on the bottom. A lot of stuff. We've just got it to the point where now it's ready for all that. But yeah, that's what I do. I just cut this. And if this doesn't work, I cut it down smaller. It just cuts easy. This is building number 3. So we got one lower door and one higher door. So we got to build a header in here, and then we got to build the door. The sill plate. Same way here. This just gets a handle sticking out the side. So when you come up 2 steps to get into this house. So the upper window is to this unit. This one will have probably a window over here. Just a smaller window. And it'll have a little flower planter out. It seems like all their windows always have planters mounted underneath them. Beautiful flowers. I don't know if that's just for pictures that you see or that's how it actually is. I'd love to go there. It looked beautiful from the pictures that I clipped as my reference and what you guys saw in the past video. But anyways, and then it gets a light. I got it marked right here. It'll get a little, what-do-you-do light hanging down. It's going to light up that little area. The little courtyard gets kind of lit up. We'll have a street light back here. You'll see it in a minute on the base. The buildings have entry lights, that kind of stuff, just to add some ambiance to the effect, I guess, what I'm going for. But yeah, this is building number 3, and then this is building number 2. I'm not drawing any of the doors or anything like that on it yet, but there'll be 2 buildings here, so there'll be 2 entry doors. Trying to determine if one unit will have 2 windows and the other one will have one, kind of like a big picture window, kind of break up the monotony. But you can see the walls angled, and that's because of the way the diorama is. All right, guys. So you can see, there's building, which will actually, this is building number 3, 4, 5, and then building 6. And you look back, you're looking down the street, the courtyard, you can see now it kind of is like a cul-de-sac in there, and it's just a patio area. Everybody can kind of hang out, have little dinner parties, kids can play, courtyard type thing. If we look down here, there's that light I was telling you about. That'll go here. There's going to be a tree right here. We've got our curb that runs all the way around and, disappears. Curb running all the way around, sidewalk, curb, and it angles back and comes down and disappears. We got a sewer drain that'll go in here, a manhole cover right here. And this is all for those little bricks. So from here up to this line here is all those little bricks. And there's bricks that go this way and then bricks that go this way. And it'll be a reddish, all different red tones and everything else in it, but weathered. Now you can see the steps I showed you. They are to the point where they're ready for weathering. You know, it looks nice and clean. You know, I could leave it the way it is if I wanted, but it's not. You know, I got some weathering like around the handle. The wood would be worn, the edges of the wood, but we got to make up some washes and all that. So we got that all ready to go, and there's varnish over everything, so it's ready. It won't hurt the foam. We got our steps glued on where we need them to be, and it goes right there. So we'll have a handrail coming off of here around, and it only goes down about halfway of the steps. And the rest of the steps are open. Well, I don't know the reasoning for that, but. And then we got our doors. We got, each unit has a window. This unit has a balcony. You can see we got real wood, and we roughed it up and angled the ends. Right here on the side, you can kind of see it better. There you go. And, you know, we'll stain the wood natural, like a dark walnuts or walnut color, something like that. Then we got our roof. This is where we use the 16th inch or 8th inch, whatever you want to call it, foam. This all gets the clay tiles, you know, the half round tiles. There's a name for it. I can't think of it. And we're going to make those. And how we're going to do that is by using straws. And then it'll get weathered and aged and everything, and it'll all blend in. Our roof isn't perfect. We do kick out at the bottom a little bit. We come down the rake, and then we kick out just in the design. It wasn't done on purpose. It was an accident, and I made it work. And we got our rake boards, and we got our gutter board on. We do have a board up underneath there, if you can see it. There you go. That's so the rock will bump up against that. That runs all the way across. So, you know, all we got to do now is start gluing our rocks on, all our stones. Shutters are going over top of the stones. And then once all those are on there, I'll hand make the shutters out of balsa wood, and they'll get glued on, and I'll make hinges, just like on this door. This is solder that I rolled out and flattened out, drilled holes through, and put the pins to it, make it look like it's bolts, hold the door together. Just use tiny aluminum tubing and made my hinges. There's a pin in each hinge. These do not open. Everything will be permanently affixed open or closed. It's not a toy, so we're not going to sit there and swing doors open and closed. And then, you know, of course, they'll get a handrail around this balcony. Doors coming in. This building has all green doors. This building, I think, is going to be all blue doors. This building back here is natural wood doors, and we'll use probably a yellow or an orange for the shutters. This one is going to be our red building, so it gets red doors, and it'll be windows. There's 3 window panels on each one of these doors, so a total of 6 little windows. And then this one will have 1 window with the bracing in between, and it'll be red also. So we'll have red, a little splash of orange maybe, yellow, I don't know yet. Natural wood doors, and everything painted blue here and everything painted green here. And then all the stone will be this shade. So across all the buildings, everything will be stone. The roofs will all be the terracotta, you know, style roofs all the way around. The whole courtyard and the sidewalks are all the little pavers that I showed you by making, again, this little tool. And then the road is brick, like brick pavers. So there you go, guys. A good idea what's going on with it. That's where we're at with it. Sicilia's right here. Still bagged up. Everything's ready to go. Again, let me find, because you guys haven't seen it. Here it is. In the last video, I showed you that we were going to be doing the air ride after I got off. And we did. There's a pain in the butt drilling all these little holes, but we got them drilled. We got our compressors chromed. A little black wash on them really made them pop. So we got those. And then we got our tank detailed up, all the holes drilled for it. There's a hole in each side. And then our control valve is painted and weathered. And it gets all the lines that come out and go to each airbag. And then from the compressors, come up into the back of the tank. There's a little electrical fitting. It's probably for a pressure gauge on the other side. So we got to get that detail in there. And then our electrical fitting is on this side here. I'll just put some little tiny wires in there and make it, you know, make it look the part. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I got this done that day, and then the rest of the time I've been working on this. And this will get put to the side for a while, guys, because remember, we got Project Shorty going on too. I got to get the Pro Street finished up. We did get the glass in that, and we'll have an update coming up next week on the Mustang and Shorty. And then we'll do a end of the year video, kind of recapping all the builds that we did this year. Some of it will be slideshow. Some of it will be me just showing you. Because remember, some of the stuff's not in my possession. And an example is the Budweiser race team I did for my brother-in-law. That's back in Kansas now. So we'll do a slideshow on that one. The appreciation build we did for Old Tom, Rambler 69. Well, that'll be a little bit of a slideshow. And then everything else is sitting in here. And there's quite a few. We did those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one there will be 8. We got like 8 done this year. That'll be included the Pro Street Mustang, because it'll be done by the end of next week. And we started a couple. Remember the Ring Brothers Charger? We stopped. I got it out the other day and looked at it. I was like, yeah, and it kind of inspired me to get going back on it. But it's like, pump the brakes. We got that one started. We worked on Viewer's Choice again for a while and just kept disaster. So it is in the purple pond. I think I'm going to look for a stronger stripper than what the purple crap does. It's the only thing purple that really is really good. You guys have never had this. I'm diabetic, so I don't do sugar. I love Monster better than Red Bull and all the other brands. And this was only out for trial. I'm not sponsored by Monster or anything like that. I tried it and I really like it. It's a great flavor. I don't know what Ultraviolet is what it's called, but it's one of my favorites. And my wife finally found it at the grocery store where they sell it in the 6-pack or 4-pack, whatever it is. So she got them for me. But yeah, guys, we're going to get off here. So Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you have a blessed day. You get to spend the time with your family, all that great stuff. I hope you get everything that you wanted and asked for. And just remember those out there that aren't as blessed. This is the time of the year to step up and help less fortunate people. It is, the birthday of Jesus Christ. So I think everybody can always do a little extra. It's the simplest things, guys. The littlest and the simplest things that mean the most. It doesn't have to be digging in your pockets for money all the time. It's just a gesture of kindness. Showing somebody a little kindness in a time that's not as bright and cheery for them as it is for you. You may change somebody's whole perspective just by a little tiny act of kindness. Thank you to all my past, present, and future subscribers. Remember that 1,000 sub mark. We're not going anywhere. We're just kind of stalled out again. I gain a few subs, and then we lose them. We know who's doing it. But for whatever reason, let's prove them wrong. Let's make this channel great. Got a lot of stuff. Like I said, I've been promising dioramas. This is one of 3. Actually, one of 4. This wasn't a planned one. It's just something that I said, hey, I've got everything. The only thing I need to buy is landscaping stuff because I have very few things. I do have some flowers and stuff like that, but I need to get more. And I need them for the other dioramas too. So kind of buy in bulk and real cheap and a lot of quantity for a fraction of what I pay for it through Hobby Lobby or on Amazon or whatever. I'm sure I will need to buy some more stuff. But between that and what we have, this diorama is happening because we have everything. If I would have had to buy all the stuff and then figure it, no. We'd have just built the truck, and if I couldn't have lit it up, we wouldn't have lit it up, but I would still built the truck. It is a beautiful truck to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, flood the comments. That's how I know you guys enjoy it. That thumbs up, it's great and all. I really appreciate it. I appreciate more of hearing somebody's comments. When I read them, it's like I hear you saying them to me. If that makes sense to you. That lets me know what I'm doing. It is appealing to you, the people that take the time to watch it. You don't have to be mean. Oh, your stuff sucks. Don't need that. I mean, just move on. But for all of you that do watch and enjoy what I do get great comments. But we got to keep it going. That's what builds the channel now. I know what you all like and what you like to see, and what I do you like. That's not the key. The key is flooding these comments. Each thing I do, let me know. That builds the channel. That's you guys helping me, and that's really all I can ask. That's it. That's why I said we don't want to monetize. We don't want to do Patreon. And my knowledge is your knowledge. It's not going to cost you anything other than a little of your time to get it. So I really appreciate it, guys. I'm rambling now. Merry Christmas. We will see you next week. Probably it'll be 2 short videos. On Mustang, it'll be a short one, and Shorty will be very, no pun intended, will be a short one. The year end will be a little long, not bad. These diorama videos will probably always be a little longer because there's a lot in it. You know what I'm saying? I work very fast, and so I get a lot done, and I like to talk about it. So you have that part of it too. So again, guys, this is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.